All right, Ian, we got some voicemails.
All right.
You know how to get access to voicemails and how you can leave one?
You do.
Oh, we're not there yet. You just still don't get it. It's like the early days of the Patreon. Oh, that's so cute, Ian. You go to anchor.fm/the podcast and you can leave us a comment or a question. We prefer the short ones because, like a radio caller, it can bog down if it's a minute and then we have to wait for it. But like 20 seconds. Hey, my name is Peter, and I like Ian.
Peter!
I like Ian's thick-framed black glasses, and this is my comment. Anyway, so this is the first one. This is from Josh.
Hey guys, this is Josh, a huge fan of the show for many years now. My question is, if you could get transported to one of the worlds or games that you've played and live there, which one would you choose and why? Stay safe, and thanks for all the great work that y'all put out.
So we had I think this was a Patreon poll topic like 7 months ago.
Might been, but I've got a different answer, I'm sure. I was just thinking it would be fun to live in the world that Kirby lives in.
Okay, I don't think you said that last time.
I don't think I did either, but I would. That's where I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Because everything's cute and cuddly, but still deadly.
Lots and lots of sweets.
It always comes back to the sweets. Yes.
Sundays.
Yes. Do you remember what you said last time?
No.
Well, I think it said bubble bobble.
Oh yeah.
Because of the sweets.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're already licking your lips.
Yeah.
You literally mean like I'm a grape popsicle, like you did years back.
It always comes down to the food and the cute.
Okay. I said, maybe this will be interesting. Maybe Ian will talk about like cuddly creatures and hanging out. No, just food. Just food. What's the food in Kirby's adventure?
Like I said, there's Sundays, there's suckers.
You don't want to call it suckers. Instead of lollipops. What's the proper? Is lollipop like petroleum jelly versus Vaseline? Is it a generic?
Yeah, it
lollipop versus a sucker, as it's a different term. Let's say for me, I don't remember what I said last time. Maybe I said bubble bobble, but I don't know if I said bubble bobble. I would love to live in the world of Walleye Bear and the No Gang. You have all your you got your creature friends,
Your creature friends.
You go out for a nice skateboarding adventure.
Got your eyesore wallpaper everywhere.
Avoid getting a syringe stuck in your arm by a rodent on the subway. It's fun times there. All right, next one here.
Hello, it's Chetstar. Pat, Ian, what's your favorite Simpsons episode? Bye.
Nice insurance. What's your favorite Simpsons episode?
I don't actually know The Simpsons very well, but I like the one with the chowder.
Which was the chowder one? Is that if it's not in the first 5-6 years?
I think it's like season 6. It's like the murder mystery episode where the chef dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about The Simpsons. I watched every episode. The first, like everyone, like it was a cultural phenomenon. The first couple of years are weird to look at compared, because Bart was a star. Then they made Homer the star early on, back when the Don't Have a Cow days were there, and Bartman shirts were everywhere. I stopped watching it once I got to college, and I said, this isn't as good as it used to be. And it wasn't just me, because that's when like the original writers left and Conan O'Brien left, and so people said, "Oh, you're crazy." It's like, no, this is different. It's not as I don't know, cerebral or down to earth as it used to be. And they made Homer an idiot. I know that people like him, but he wasn't always an idiot. He was just a dumb, or like more just.
He wasn't always an idiot. He was just dumb.
Well, I mean, he was okay. He wasn't comically stupid, like he was still grounded in reality.
Sure.
At some point in time, we'll just say. I love the was it the two-parter Who Killed Mr. Burns? I remember that being really good. That was a big thing at the time. And of course, it has to go back to Nintendo. The episode where they basically parodied Punch Out. Remember that? There was a game they were playing, which was that was probably season 3 or so. That was like early 90s, or earlier. And then the Itchy and Scratchy one where the parents band together to get it off the air. That was a fantastic episode at the time. Remember that one?
I literally don't.
These are classic ones within probably.
What I know about The Simpsons, I know through Vonnie. Vonnie is a big Simpsons.
Yeah, I fell off. I saw the movie in the theaters when it came out. Wow, that movie came out like 10 years ago already. And God, it's going to be 30 years. It's already 30. It was 30 years in 89. Holy shit. I guess I can go forever. It's Always Sunny. It's like over 15 years by now.
It's crazy, yeah.
But it's still strong. But speaking of that, I've been catching up on some DVR. It's Always Sunny, and they're still strong.
I've been meaning to catch up on that at night.
I don't know how. You think at some point they get tired of the actors, but no, you're like, wow, this show is still good. Maybe because it is unrealistic. That helps. What's next here?
Hey guys, I was just wondering, Pat, what's your favorite memories from being here in Norway when you visited here and went to Retrospillmessen?
Thanks, Chris. My favorite memories were not sleeping for the entire week I was there the first time, and that's not even an exaggeration. I probably slept 12 hours in a week.
Wow.
So it was bad. You looked at pictures of me from then, I looked like I was dead. So I had a great time. The people were great and friendly. The food was great. Everything was fine. They didn't tell you that the sun's up for like 22 hours of the day.
Oh.
So
First
time I got there, I'm already fucked up. I can't sleep on planes notoriously. I've gotten better. But we're talking, 18 hours of travel time. That's not fun. So you're basically going forward and losing an extra like half a day because of the transition of time. You're losing 8 hours. You're basically losing, it's a whole day that you're accounted for.
Yeah.
So I get there. I'm obviously exhausted. The first time it was 3 planes. It was straight from, I think it was straight from San Diego to the UK to Germany, and then Germany to Norway. I think it was like that. I got there, I was exhausted, and so I go and I take I take a nap because at the time it's still light out. I got there probably I don't know 2 in the afternoon. I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's light out. It must be like 4 o'clock. It was like 9 at night, and it looked like it was like 3 in the afternoon. And I thought my cell phone didn't adjust to the time. I thought something was going on. I was like, what? I'm like I never experienced that before. I'm looking outside and I'm like, it's the afternoon. So after that, my clock was totally messed up after that. And that's a common thing that happens when you travel. But when there's no
the light,
when the light thing does work with it, what is it? What's the rhythm thing called?
I don't know, biorhythms.
Your
No.
iridium rhythms, whatever.
Oh, Euclidean,
Not Euclidean.
Uridian,
Euclidean
rhythms.
Anyway, so you do cycle based upon the light that hits your body. That you are built. Your body is built for that. So that was one of my biggest memories of that. But it was awesome meeting the people. It was awesome seeing all the PAL games you never saw before.
Yeah,
it was
that's
awesome
probably cool.
seeing the M82 stand, because for some reason in Europe they're like common and not hard to find. The M82 display stand, and begging them to sell anyone to sell me one, and no one would. Please, if you have an M82 tabletop stand, please. I've gotten close to buying one 3 or 4 times. There's one person who has six of them. It's like, can I just buy one? No. What?
No,
well, you have 6
I need
of them.
all of them.
That's like the last thing I need for that's the last thing I would want for my collection. If I don't get the full stand-up one, which are like that, those are so big and ridiculous. I want the tabletop one. They're adorable. Please sell me one out there if you're in Europe. I don't know why they I guess they didn't throw them out there. They got more of them. Sorry, that was my memory. And I ate whale. I think I sampled a whale. There was a restaurant because whale there isn't like endangered or whatever. So there was one restaurant that had a whale that we kind of tried one time. Now I feel bad eating a whale. This is from Jose. Oh no, I missed one. Speaking of Germany.
Hey Pat and Ian, this is Frank from Germany calling. I'm just curious, how did this whole limited jingle mushroom thing get started? I think I missed this back in the days. By the way, Bloodsport is great. See ya.
It is.
Care.
Oh, thank you, Frank. I'm not sure there's any German blood sport athletes in the movie. I'm trying to think. There was a German one. How did it start? I'm a crazy person, and so I just started hitting the button. That Yoshi got me. That's what happened.
Well, it started because we kept
saying limited.
Yeah, based off of Don. What's his name? The card guy. Yeah, that's where it started.
Don West, shop at home.
Yeah.
Be dialing.
Don West. It started with that, and then we kept saying it, and then for whatever reason you kept hitting. We had the little one whenever limited came up. Yeah,
that's right. We had the little one. Blame Yoshi, because Yoshi got me he sent me the little limited one, which is it's right there.
Yep.
Where is it? Where is
right here.
Oh, it's right there. It doesn't work anymore. I changed the battery out. That's why I swapped it out.
Yeah.
There you go. We pulled the curtain back. Next is from. Okay, I'll let them talk.
Hi, Pat and Ian. This is Jose. I'm calling you from Michigan. I love the podcast, and I think you guys are doing a great job. My question is for Pat. Pat, I have been contemplating my own mortality lately and realized I don't really have the best plan for my collection in the event of something were to happen to me. So I don't know if my wife fully understands the value of my collection. So, Pat, what plans have you made for your collection in the unfortunate event of something happening to you?
The
Please let me
value.
know. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jose. I actually brought this up on my who did I bring this up to? My sister a few weeks ago. But I said to them, I'm gonna make a list, Google Drive doc. Here are the 50 most valuable games that I have. So at least for these 50, you can sell these individually. They're that rare that you can get closer to top value for these. Something like an NWC carts, like a Steam events. Like you can get most of the money for these. Like this is you don't have to work that much to get that. The rest of it, have at it and just piece it out or whatever, or have someone get it for pennies on the dollar. But here's the 50 ones that are probably worth the majority of what the rest are worth.
Right.
So that's what I would recommend everyone doing. Like you don't want to, because this happened. We've seen this happen with Sid Bolton. The person in New Jersey that there was an auction that died that had a video game collection where. Yeah, what do you do with it? Like you're gonna leave your loved one who knows nothing about it, all this shit laying around. Like it's a lot. So I would say, yeah. Get the most valuable stuff and you record that. This is what they're worth. This is where the stuff's at. These are the ones that you at least set aside and sell separately to maximize it versus everything else. That's the simplest thing, at least to me, to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, with my, Vonnie's fairly savvy with video games and whatnot. And she knows, for instance, that the PC Engine, if something were to happen, the PC Engine stuff holds the most value in terms of what I have, but I've started making like lists of my records and stuff because that's a lot harder, and it's harder to kind of determine what is, and it's a much bigger collection too. So yeah, I mean, start making just in your spare time where you can make lists with the values of the most notable pieces, and then what happens.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Jedediah from Maine, and I have a question mostly for Pat. Will we ever see a return of the Not So Common podcast, or maybe some guests on the CU podcast? I know it was really interesting hearing the story of different people like Mark from Classic Game Room on the show, or even just hearing from Frank or some other familiar people on there. And I wonder if we can get some of that content blended into the CU podcast. Regardless, really love the show. Thanks for all this stuff. Keep it up, guys.
I can't do it. I used to do the Not So Common podcast the off week of the CU podcast. So I was basically doing one podcast a week. And once this went to 2 weeks, every week, was that beginning of 2019? That was.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, holy shit. I don't have the bandwidth to do that with everything else I have going on. If I wasn't doing other stuff, yes. If it was just me, Pat the podcaster, yes. But I have other projects going on all the time. So that said, I have in my own head, I haven't discussed with Ian, I have grown more open to maybe having a potential guest on the CU podcast, especially when there are weeks like this where there's nothing to talk about. We would just have to coordinate. The problem is, I think, the coordination and also the tech stuff. I'm open to it. We have to discuss how it would work because it would just probably be like a segment. It wouldn't be the whole episode. And it probably, here's the thing. It's harder to do like an interview style segment when there's two people versus one. You can do it more like a radio show where it's like a discussion. We have to really talk about it and really choose who we want to do. But I actually never brought it up to Ian before, so I don't know if you'd be agreeable to that potentially.
I'm less disagreeable to it than I used to be.
Because some weeks we'll be suffering. Speaking of suffering.
Hey, Pat and Ian, Tommy Tallarico here. Hey, listen up. When I told everybody that the Amico was going to be delayed, it's not really going to be delayed. I just said that just to troll you guys. I got storage spaces full of them right now. And when I posted those ads looking to fill those super important positions on the team, those positions were filled on Monster.com the day before. I just said that just to troll you. And I'm going to jump out this window right now, not because I really want to kill myself, but just to troll you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, Tommy, don't do it.
Good evening, motherfuckers. It's me, the maniac, Long John Silver.
Okay, I don't know if you're aware of this, Ben, but when you leave us a message like that, I see your real full name. Just I'll let you know. So it kind of destroys the illusion of trying to be edgy, or I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know if that's a meme or if that's a podcast. Okay, a couple more here. Let's see.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Andy from Indiana. you guys talk a lot about how you love 90s FPS games, and in the past 3 to 4 years, there have been a bunch of new boomer shooters, as the kids say, from indie devs. Have you played any of them? If so, do you have any personal favorites? Anyway, love the show. Thank you for answering this.
So I guess boomer shooter is a term.
Is that the exact same question? That's not a repeat? Is that just the exact
same? That's a new question, I believe. Is that a new one, or did I hit that by accident last time?
I think you hit that by accident last time.
Okay, we did. Okay.
Yes.
All right, then we'll do a couple more. Yeah. Okay. Because otherwise, that's a coincidence, right?
I still need to play Dust.
Name's Potato. Question to Ian. What's your favorite style of mahjong?
Ricci Mahjong.
What's that style?
That's Japanese. That's the standard Japanese style of Mahjong.
All right, we'll do one more. These have been shorter than usual.
Thanks, Potato.
Hi guys, it's Andrew of Ukraine. There are plenty of games that have been originally released around 2010s, like Dark Souls, Skyrim, Witcher, Diablo, Saints Row, you name it. And later all those games have been ported to Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
Did you miss any of games in this time period and then played it first time on Nintendo Switch and loved it? Do you have any of such games? If yes, please tell me what are those and recommend it. Love your podcast. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Andrew. International flavor this week in the Sea of Podcast, and I had the link up above so you can see all the ones that were remade for the Switch or re-released. There's a ton of them on here. You got like Bayonetta 1 and 2 on here. Blade Runner Enhanced Edition was re-released on the Switch. That if you missed that, there's a lot of stuff. Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's all this stuff that came out in the past 10 years that is now on the Switch.
Yeah. So the question is, did we play any of those on the Switch? And were any of them for the first time? No, not yet. However, I keep telling myself someday I'm going to play LA Noire. And at this point, it would probably be on the Switch.
Yeah, you get all those weird.
Yeah, exactly. It just seemed like a good way to do it.
You couldn't get the full game at the time. It was technically impossible to get the full game when it first came out because it was like buy it at GameStop, you get these packs of missions. Buy it at Target, you get these packs. It was like 3 or 4 of those things that fuck with you. So this you get the full game.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the actual full game.
So that's one that's on my list to do at some point.
It's worth playing.
But no, none of the other ones I've gone back to. I always heard Saints Row 3 was a lot of fun. I kind of wanted to play it, but I never found the need to pick it up on the Switch.
Yeah, there's literally a list of games that were either remade for the Switch or ported over, which some of these count. So like LA Noire is not a remake, but it's, I guess, to port over.
Yeah.
But there's a list. There's like 150 games. There's like so many games that came out on the Switch that were released previously. Castle Crashers remastered. There's everything on here. So it's at the Nintendo fandom site. Their wiki here. Yeah, you'll be surprised when you see people like, oh, this came back out, which came out before. Not even counting stuff like like Nintendo's first party stuff, obviously,
right?
Almost all their games, but even stuff like you have Episode 1 Racer on here that they came back out.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, tons of stuff that they either upgraded or just re-released. Turok, that's right, doing that. The Pokemon games and whatever. We'll do 1 or 2 more here.
Hello, my name is Adam, and I was wondering what do you guys think if the whole internet age was pushed back 15 or 20 years, so things like the NES and the Sega Genesis had their own networking service, how would that pan out as far as the growth of video games and technology during that time?
It's an interesting question. We don't do a lot of what ifs. So, I mean, I guess you can't count stuff like the X-Band because no one had it for the Super Nintendo and Genesis, whatever. It was on Saturn. And we're not going to count, I guess, Satella for Super Nintendos. That wasn't here. And Japanese is always ahead of our technology by like 5-10 years. They always get the good shit before us.
Well, and I was under the impression he didn't just mean like for the systems, but just if we had the internet in general. I mean, that early.
Okay.
Especially for the NES.
Society would be totally different, so it's kind of tough to go that. I'm trying to think about just for video games, what would have happened. And I had a train of thought, now I got derailed. I actually just had an answer, and I don't have it.
So you're talking
anymore.
about Satella.
Oh, okay. This is what I was going to say. When our internet came to us, we'll just say with like CompuServe and AOL and Prodigy, we're talking like 91. We'll just say, we'll put like 91.
Yeah.
Not many people still had computers in their house yet. That didn't happen for like another 3-4 years. 95, 96, something like that, 94. You had a clear segmentation between video games that were on the PC versus consoles. It was clear. On the PC, they were more, for the most part, more serious, more adult, more complicated, more complex, less action-oriented, for the most part, versus on consoles. It was clearly, consoles are more for kids, teenagers, and the PC games are for adults. If the internet was around when the NES came out, that would mean that everyone had computers. We would have a totally different marketplace for video games. I'm thinking totally rationally of how it would have developed, just looking at it. Because at the time the internet got popular, PC games had changed a hell of a lot by then. You had games for everyone by then. You had first-person shooters, you had platformers by then. There was nothing you can do in a PC that you couldn't do at a console by the time it got popular. So the NES, they would not have had the stranglehold that Nintendo would not have nearly the stranglehold they would have. They just wouldn't, because the market already segmented out.
Right.
You know, you'd have Doom was a phenomenon that didn't happen when the NES was out. You know, you weren't getting arcade perfect ports on the PC in the 80s. You were in the 90s. So it would have been just a different time. I mean, it's hard, but that's the way I think about it. Like the NES the NES might have even went more kiddier maybe if they knew that all the adults were on the PC. I don't know. But I mean, there's not a huge amount of adult games on the NES to begin with. I'm just thinking purely NES and I guess Super Nintendo. There's not a huge amount of them.
No. Yeah, not that I can really think of.
What do you think, Ian? How would things would have been different? Would Nintendo would have tapped into the online tech, you know, back then? Would they have done multiplayer NES games, or no? They would have been behind the curve.
No, I think they probably would have. I was just thinking, what would have happened if the internet was around the 80s? We might not have ever seen a video game magazine market.
Oh, you think about for that
at all,
or would have died out a lot sooner?
Yeah.
Interesting. We want to talk about social media, how that destroyed us. But anyway,
all right, one more.
Well, okay. Yep. I was ready to call, but you'd say, I want one. I want some more goodness here.
Let's
okay.
do one
more. Let's see. And now I can't find it. Let's see here.
Hello, my name is Demon Dave from DemonDave.com. Here to tell you and to ask you about what do you think about Reggie. Reggie is my favorite Animal Crossing 3DS creator. I thinks to myself sometimes, who is this Reggie? I says to myself, this Reggie, quite a good man. Then I says to...
Wait a minute, you say shut up and then go Rangers, your little brother, in the next room while you're on your Gateway 2000 microphone? What was that?
You're popping and you're snapping?
What did he say?
He said shut up.
Quite a good man. Then I says to...
Go Rangers? Is he a Ranger fan or Power Rangers?
Myself, I says, Reggie, Reggie, you're the best. If you don't think Reggie's the best, I don't think you're the best. So review Reggie, please. I need it for my children.
Okay. I'm glad we did one more, Ian. Aren't you glad?
Yeah, I'm so glad.
It's always good for your shtick when your 10-year-old little brother's screaming in the next room. Or that's always good for your shtick there.
All right.
That's always good.
On that note.
Holy shit.
On that note.
Oh my God. Thanks, Ian. Thanks for that. That one's on you. You're the one that you get for extending the power of the one more.
I thought you were going to say two more, so I said one more.
Oh, I was going to be done. Well, thanks for the voicemails, everyone. We appreciate that.